Now on Nightside, emotional words at tonight's City Council meeting as Spokane citizens demand they change their stance on the Israel-Palestine conflict.
A break from the wet weather, but it won't last long. I'll tell you about your next chance of seeing rain and possible snow in the First Alert forecast.
A community gathers to remember the victims of the University of Idaho murders 1 year later. How students are honoring their classmates and what's next in the legal process for the man charged with their murders. You're watching 4 News Now Nightside.
They complemented each other's personalities as perfectly as I've ever seen within a couple. And it's a really bittersweet feeling because although they were taken from us way too early, at least I know they're up there together forever.
Tonight, hundreds of University of Idaho students gathered to remember their 4 classmates murdered 1 year ago today. Thanks for staying up with Nightside. I'm Kirsten O'Connor.
And I'm Derek Dice. Jordan Smith was at that vigil tonight and has our story.
Yeah, it was an emotional night here on campus, listening to the student speakers share their stories in the memories of their friends who were stolen from them 1 year ago today. But this vigil also spoke to the strength in the support that's been offered by the Vandal family.
And the only thing I miss more than seeing E every day is seeing those two together every day.
Tonight, hundreds of students huddled together on the wet admin lawn, a candle in hand, paying their respects to their classmates that were taken from them.
Kaylee Gonsalves had a contagious laugh. I mean, you could hear it in the other room. It was so unapologetically her. Kaylee was beautiful inside and out.
Kaylee, remembered for her contagious laugh. Xana and Ethan, their vibrant, energetic presence, especially together. And Madison, for her compassion and loving characteristics. Each speech followed by moments of silence, each moment a reflection back on one of the darker years Moscow has endured.
It doesn't leave my mind really at all.
Ben DeWitt is a student journalist who's reported on this tragedy with Idaho's newspaper, The Argonaut. He tells me it's a story he takes home with him.
A lot of students kind of have the liberty and the ability to, maybe just not think about it or take their mind somewhere else. I don't get that liberty.
I asked Ben about the healing process within the student body and what that's looked like in a year blended with tragedy, media sensationalization, and an ongoing court case.
And these 4 students were well liked and well loved by many people, and a lot of them are still here. The healing process, it may have only just started, but it's going in a good direction.
Dean of Students Blaine Eccles shared the heartbreak and difficulty in watching his students navigate through this. But tonight's event, a symbolic gesture by the students to their classmates and their families.
And I'm hopeful that the families, if they're watching or if they're participating even remotely, that they'll understand that our students so care for them and are there supporting them in this dark time.
In Moscow, Jordan Smith, 4 News Now.
Small traces of the 4 students remain. Mad Greek, the restaurant where Maddie Mogan and Xana Kernodle worked, has a memorial dedicated to the students. The house where the murders took place still stands. It's now owned by the University of Idaho, which plans to tear it down and build a healing garden and a memorial in its place. Earlier this month, the FBI returned to the boarded-up house to construct visual and audio exhibits and a physical model of the home for prosecutors to use during the trial. For the community, the healing process is not linear, but continuing to remember the 4 lives lost is an important step in that process.
So obviously a year ago at this time, there was a lot of pain and anger and a lot of scared individuals, which is really fair given what happened. I mean, it was a horrible thing. And I know I don't speak for the whole community, but I could say a year later where we're at now, there's a lot of peace of mind in the community knowing that things are getting wrapped up, things are getting resolved.
A year later, alleged murderer Brian Kohberger is in the Latah County Jail awaiting trial, and the families of the victims are still waiting for justice. Police arrested Kohberger at his parents' home in Pennsylvania last December. He was indicted by a grand jury in May, and his trial was supposed to start last month, but Kohberger waived his right to a speedy trial, pushing back that timeline. Because of a gag order issued in the days after Kohberger's arrest, law enforcement and attorneys were banned from releasing any new information outside of the courtroom. As of right now, we do not have a clear picture on when the trial will begin. Avista hopes to have the largest natural gas outage in its history resolved by tomorrow. The outage affecting tens of thousands of families from Colfax all the way to Lewiston As of this afternoon, the company says it's restored service to more than 26,000 customers, and the rest should have their natural gas restored by the end of the day tomorrow. It's been cold, so
oh yeah,
a lot of people waiting for that to be done. And the rain is over for right now, but could impact the morning commute.
Yeah, let's send it over to Chief Meteorologist Chris Crocker for your first alert forecast.
That is the leftover impacts of that rain. We've got wet roads and patchy fog, temperatures below freezing, and some icy spots. Here's 4 things to know about your weather. It is going to be dry on Tuesday and tonight for that matter, but that patchy fog to start the day and areas of freezing fog. Any roads that you see that look wet tonight or tomorrow morning will likely be slick. We have the possibility of a rain-snow mix on Wednesday, and then nothing to shovel, just a mix of rain and snow. It is quiet on the radar right now. The last of this morning's rain is over, but again, we are still impacted by that rain with visibility down to 1/4 mile down at the Moscow-Pullman Airport. We're at 2 miles in Spokane. We will see this fog spreading across the region through the overnight for a gray start to the day tomorrow. And again, temperatures down below freezing in most locations. Even if you're not below freezing, the road surface likely is, so they will be sparkly streets on your morning commute if you are up early enough. 25 in Deer Park to start the day, 30 in Spangle and downtown, 27 in Spirit Lake, and 26 in Hayden bright and early. Here is a look at your Tuesday planner. We'll warm up nicely into the 40s. I think we're going to clear off pretty nicely in the afternoon. I'm never super optimistic about clearing the fog this time of year. We're getting deeper into the fog season, but I'm starting to see some hints of drier air pushing its way in, so you may need your sunglasses by the afternoon. 43 is our average high, so we're right in the ballpark. I'll be back with your 7-day forecast. Eric.
All right, Chris, thank you. Spokane will have a new mayor, with current Mayor Nadine Woodward conceding following the latest round of election results. Those results showed Lisa Brown up by 2,800 votes out of more than 70,000 counted. Woodward releasing a statement saying, "I respect the decision of the voters, even if I'm disappointed by the outcome. The election process is what makes our country truly great, and I appreciate everyone who turned out to make their vote count. I've spoken with the mayor-elect to congratulate her and wish her well." And Betsy Wilkerson is still defeating Kim Pleece, meaning she's on track to work with Lisa Brown as the first woman ever elected to serve as Spokane City Council president.
With just 2 weeks to go in the regular season, a bowl game is almost out of the picture for the Washington State Cougars.
Meaning this would be the first time this group of players and coaches will miss out on the postseason since they've been in Pullman. And on the same note, this Friday night will also be the final time 17 seniors take the field at Martin Stadium. And Alex, head coach Jake Dicker got a little emotional talking about him today.
Yeah, that's right. The end of the season is never easy for any coach. You work with these kids almost every day for years, developing quite the relationship along the way. And then in a blink of an eye, it's just over. Head coach Jake Dicker has only been in the role full-time for about 2 years now, but you have to remember, he got here in Pullman in 2020 when Nick Rolovich was hired on, so he's been with a lot of these players for a majority of their college playing days. And while this season has hardly gone the way he or anyone in the program would have wanted, that doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of life and moving on to that next chapter for those 17 young men.
I said I do get emotional about it because I'm highly invested in these kids and their future and what they're doing. And like I said, whether it's 6 months or 6 years, these guys have made tremendous impacts. And you don't always get the results that you want, that you work for. And for these guys to stay the course, not quit, give us everything they have, even through the ups and downs and the trials and tribulations of this season, says a lot about who they are, and really want to send them out on a high note is really important to our football team.
Now, the Cougs will take Giesa Field one last time this season on Friday evening. They're going to face off against Colorado. Both teams sitting with just 1 win in conference play. Guys, back to you.
Thank you. Well, emotional words at tonight's City Council meeting.
Spokane citizens demand the City Council change their stance on the Israel-Palestine conflict, and a Washington teacher's life saved by his co-workers. That's next on Nightside.
We have more wet weather in the 7-day forecast. I'll let you know when to expect it. But first, tonight's pick of the night, my favorite city. Jeremiah Philippe shared this amazing drone photo of Spokane, Riverfront Park, downtown, and the river. That was last week when the pavilion was green for Operation Green Light for Veterans. Thanks for the photo, Jeremiah. I'll be right back.
Download the KXLY Plus app on your connected TV.
4 News Now is brought to you by Shriners Children's Spokane, the most amazing care anywhere.
I'm Mark Peterson, the Extreme Team and Horizon Credit Union, ready to take on the next task. If you know of a project that needs an Extreme Team makeover, go to KXLY.com to nominate it. 4 News Now Extreme Team brought to you by Horizon Credit Union.
The holidays inspire us all to connect with family, with friends, no matter what the road throws at you. So find the connection you're looking for this winter in a new SUV with standard all-wheel drive during the Mazda Season of Inspiration sales event.
With effortless power and the reliability of iActive all-wheel drive, Mazda CUVs are built for the Pacific Northwest. Take a test drive today at Foothills Mazda or shop now at SpokaneMazda.com.
This is going to be a lot of fun.
He's got the stars.
Yeah.
The studs.
I don't remember a time in my life I didn't watch his shows.
And the unexpected.
I've always thought of you as Dave Jr.
Every hair on my body is standing up right now.
Jimmy Kimmel Live, new weeknights on ABC.
Did you know Idaho high school seniors graduating next spring are eligible for up to $8,000 in grant money for career training and education through Idaho Launch? Funds can be used to cover the cost of apprenticeships, job training, community college, and university programs that lead to in-demand careers. Funds are limited. Apply today. Students choose their own path, and Idaho Launch helps pay for it. Idaho Launch, support in every direction.
At the Salvation Army, a rent check isn't just a rent check. It's a hangout, a safe haven, a sanctuary, a place to grow and grow closer, a treasured past and plans for the future. With your gift, families know that wherever they go, they can always come back home.
Four News Now is brought to you by Bill's Heating and Air Conditioning.
Well, new on Nightside, for the first time in weeks, speakers can now address council members directly during public comment.
The move follows the protests and lack of order last week, which led council members to evacuate council chambers. Take a listen here.
How can we hold our public officials accountable if we cannot name them?
And during tonight's meeting, protesters continue to call for the city council to revise their resolution in support of Israel and support Palestine instead.
There's just a constant stream of dead children in Gaza, and yet the council hasn't changed their minds, apparently. What's the threshold of dead Palestinian babies that gets you to reconsider your declaration?
The current resolution, and especially the wording of Israel's right to self-defense, must change. Let me ask you this. Does starving 1 million people, 500,000 children, sound like self-defense to you?
The city council did not comment on the calls to revise their support of Israel.
Well, the Israeli military claims it killed more than 20 Hamas fighters embedded among civilians at a hospital in Gaza after its troops were fired on from its entrance. The director of Gaza's largest hospital says it is no longer operational, that, quote, all essential units have collapsed.
The director adding their ability to treat patients is at crisis levels.
I know that both children's hospitals are non-functional. One of them, the staff had to leave babies, and they just had to leave them without any medical attendance because they feared for their safety.
39 premature babies removed from their incubators at one hospital because there is no electricity. According to a doctor there, at least 3 of them have died. Well, the holidays are just around the corner. A lot of us getting ready to pull out our decorations. Some might even be thinking about buying a Christmas tree.
That's not the case for a lot of Oregon Road and Gray Fire survivors, though. Many of them lost their homes and they no longer have their holiday decorations. Businesses like the 5-Star Real Estate Network in Spokane Valley are collecting donations starting this week to help those families. They're taking new and gently used decorations for families who lost everything in the fires.
Christmas trees, smaller might be better since many people are living in RVs and basements or co-living spaces. So Christmas trees, garlands, wreaths, stockings, anything that will help their Christmas be a little bit brighter.
Donations will be collected through November 30th. For a full list of places taking them, you can visit our website at kxly.com. And I've already seen some decorations up in certain areas of Spokane.
Yeah, there's some people on my street that have the lights up already and stuff too, and there's something in the forecast that might start reminding us of the holidays as well.
Fog. Is that it? Yes, in fact, you nailed it. Here is the scene down on Colfax, as if you didn't need another reason not to speed on 195. It is getting dense out there this evening, and of course, as our temperature drops below freezing, that is sticking to the roadways. Here's what's going on. We did get a little bit of precipitation in Spokane. You may have had more at your house, only 400ths. That moisture, along with the dropping temperatures, we're seeing that fog developing and some areas of freezing fog. We are still well below average year to date. Well, won't make it up tonight. It's going to be mostly cloudy and 29. Tomorrow we'll start the day off with mostly cloudy skies, but then some sunshine in the afternoon. High of 44, just about average. Forecast radar, I skipped through tomorrow since we're not going to be seeing any rain. And starting off 24 hours from now, Tuesday at 11, you'll see those clouds and the rain. It's coming up from the south. This is a warm front that is going to bring this rain to the region. Here is 2 a.m. Wednesday. It almost like it knows where I-90 is. It seems to want to just stop short of I-90. And then far at your screen, you see that little bit of a blue. We have a cold front coming down from the north, but Spokane and Coeur d'Alene, other than a few sprinkles, here's Wednesday at 8 a.m., seem to be missing out on all of this precipitation. This is staying as rain with some mountain snow. We go through Wednesday, a little bit of snow in the northern areas. Then the rain pulls away, the snow pulls away, and we may end up with nothing. If anything, it's going to be a rain or perhaps a rain-snow mix, but we could end up on the losing end of this next system moving through. A different story down on the Palouse. Expect a good chance of rain there. Still have it at 60% in Spokane, down to 20 on Thursday. We're dry Friday, and then up to 40 degrees on Saturday. Because our overnight lows are getting down just below freezing, with each of these systems, there is a chance to see some snow mixing in with the rain, but no big shovelable events. Our temperature trend, the black line is our average high, keeps us right about average, above freezing by quite a ways for the next 7 days. However, here is Thanksgiving week, November 21st through the 27th, and we are in this medium to dark blue, indicating very strong trend toward below average temperatures and possibly just a hint of above average precipitation. So there may be a snowman in your future, but not in the 7-day forecast. Little bits of precipitation this weekend and into early next week. Overnight lows just a little below freezing with daytime highs in the 40s. In the meantime, enjoy a dry Tuesday. Derek?
All right, Chris, thank you. A pilot survived a plane crash this morning at the Coeur d'Alene airport.
Only the pilot was on board. He was taken to the hospital with unknown injuries. That plane crashed just after 9 o'clock this morning. Fire crews were at the scene within seconds. When they arrived, it took them 5 minutes to cut the pilot out of that crushed plane. First responders say the pilot was alert, conscious, and speaking.
Sounds like he was doing landings and takeoffs and goes, and that he was out here earlier and was doing some standard takeoffs and landings and had a mechanical issue is what we were told, but we don't know any further.
The Federal Aviation Administration and the National Transportation Safety Board are investigating the crash.
All right, new on Nightside in Olympia, a substitute teacher who suffered a heart attack in class has returned to the school to thank those who helped save his life.
Drew Mickelson has the story.
I was going to try to organize a pizza party.
It's not easy.
I don't remember that day at all.
I mean, how do you thank someone for saving your life?
Sir, you're too big to hug.
For Larry Shellman, a hug is a good place to start. He hasn't returned to this Olympia school since September 28th, the day he collapsed while teaching music.
You can't thank him enough. Not even thanks does it. And I'm not going to cry. But yeah, it's a miracle.
He had a heart attack and was unconscious on the floor without a pulse. The third graders immediately got help.
I don't know how any of it worked. All I knew is they showed up and they jumped into action.
So who was the first one to start pumping him?
It was Medea.
It was you, huh?
Yeah, it was Medea.
Medea Segan is the school's health assistant. She told coworkers to call 911 and to grab the AED, the school's automated external defibrillator.
When we got in there, Larry was not breathing. He was purple.
Purple?
Yeah.
Other staff members rushed to help.
Nobody really expects to come into work and experience anything like that.
I remember Tony kind of being like our cheerleader, honestly, because he was at the head of the circle.
I was tilting his head back to clear his airway, and that's when we heard the gasp.
Amazingly, he took a huge deep breath in the middle, and we were all yelling encouragement.
Did I answer? No, I didn't.
No, well, you took a breath for us, so I mean that's all we could ask for.
He didn't have a pulse for more than 3 minutes. Larry was in a coma for 2 days, but less than 3 weeks later, he was back teaching.
Since Larry was a substitute for the music teacher here at LP Brown Elementary, he didn't really know a lot of his coworkers. But today, that group is bonded for life.
To do that for a person that you don't know, it's special.
He calls his coworkers
thank you.
angels.
I'm so happy you're here.
Who performed a miracle.
If they had doubted at any time or shot their hands to their heads and pulled their hair out, I don't think I'd be here.
Soon Larry hopes to return to campus to thank the students and to teach here again.
Hopefully you'll need us up next week.
Drew Mickelson, King 5 News.
Download the KXLY Plus app for live updates all day.
Dear road rivals, you may have 4 wheels, headlights, and a similar build, but our resemblance ends right there. You see, the Camry's been named best-selling car in America. But cheer up, wannabe twinsies. If you try harder, maybe you can catch up. Later, Toyota.
Every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care, our no-cost maintenance plan with roadside assistance. Visit your local Toyota dealer to learn more. Reserve yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
Did you see this? It says most people are going to need long-term care that health insurance and Medicare won't cover.
I saw that, and it got me thinking, if I need to pay for home modifications or in-home care, I am not prepared. Are you?
Not really. I mean, whatever happens, I just want to know that I'll be able to get care and stay in my own home as I age.
Right? I want that too. So,
Find out how the WA Cares Fund can help.
We aren't just HVAC specialists. We're a Lennox premier dealer. That means we offer the most energy-efficient products on the market with savings you can see and perfect air you can feel. Your comfort is our passion, and we're with you every breath of the way. Enjoy greater comfort and lower energy costs. Call us today and save on Lennox with special incentives and rebates.
Call Norco Heating and Air today.
If you're actually trying to recover and you want to get better, it's just one step at a time. You put one foot in front of the other, and you'll find that each day it'll get a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better. And then next thing you know, you're not even thinking about it. You're thinking about the future, not the past. I can tell you it's worth it. It's hard, but it's worth it. Just one step in front of the other. It's going to get better. It just takes time.
4 News Now is brought to you by Burke's Restoration.
New on Nightside, 1 in 6 American adults and adolescents had a substance use disorder last year. That's 2.5 million more than the year before. Of those 49 million people, about 30 million abused alcohol and 27 million had a drug use disorder, including about 6 million with an opioid use disorder. About 8 million had both. President Biden has requested billions of dollars to strengthen substance use disorder services and address drug trafficking.
New on Nightside.
It hurts. You don't know what to feel.
When the driver of a Jeep, now accused of driving under the influence, drove the wrong way on I-5 and crashed into a sedan, Cameron Miller not only lost his girlfriend of 3.5 years, he also lost his 2-year-old son, Adonis. And to make matters worse, his girlfriend, Samantha Denny, was pregnant. Samantha's 8-year-old daughter is recovering in the ICU after being critically injured in the crash. A group of Denny's childhood friends from Chehalis gathered to share memories of her, saying she had a way of making people feel cared for.
She was that mom of the year, always.
Saved me from getting beat up.
Yeah, she was a big sister, a mother figure.
Her devoted loved ones are left to sort through feelings of shock and anger. State police say the 27-year-old suspect was not injured but is now in custody. Miller faces vehicular homicide and vehicular assault charges as well as a DUI charge. His breathalyzer test read .31, nearly 4 times the legal limit. Well, the Seahawks got back in the win column this weekend. Coming up in sports, Alex Crescenti tells us just how big of a bounce back the offense had, and while they'll need it to keep it up as they move through November.
Download the KXLY Plus app for weather every 10 minutes.
4 News Now is brought to you by Sandpoint Furniture.
They're the strongest couple on the beach.
Things are going really well, Blake. It's nice to feel wanted and pursued.
But the arrival of an old flame
Hi, I'm Katie, and I'm gonna pull Blake aside.
could burn it all down.
They were engaged, and they haven't spoken since they cut it off.
It's kind of the worst nightmare.
I am happy to see you.
This is making me want to go home.
What is she doing here?
New Bachelor in Paradise, Thursday on ABC and stream on Hulu.
What you see is important. That makes quality eye care important too. Get personalized care from experienced optometrists at Shopko Optical. Better eye care. You'll see. Schedule your comprehensive eye exam at shopko.com or bring in your outside prescription.
Lewis Culligan, your local water experts since 1936. The world's most efficient water softener. Safer drinking water in every glass. Convenient, reliable delivery. Industry-leading technology. Here for every water worry.
Is it possible to be more capable and more practical? Be able to perform here and here. Make a statement while barely making a sound. And command the road as well as what lies ahead. How we get there matters.
Bounce from one doctor to the next. Does it have to be like this?
At Kaiser Permanente, we have a different kind of health care.
So, how did you like that?
Where all of us work together for all that is you.
Time is running out. Shopko Optical can help maximize your vision benefits and FSA dollars before they expire. Get a comprehensive eye exam and discover your new style. Call Shopko Optical or visit shopko.com to schedule your exam.
Well, another weekend and another Washington State football loss as the once 13th ranked Cougars haven't won a game in 51 days. It's really not out of the realm of possibility that they could finish the season 0-8. And with 6 straight losses, the blame really could be placed anywhere at this point. You can look at the 11 fumbles by Cam Ward, including 3 on Saturday. That turned into 14 points for Cal, or the defense's inability to stop the rush. They gave up 167 yards to Jaden Ott. Now, while head coach Jake Dickert says there were some success adversity problems early on in the season, it's been a lot of small plays that have just added up in all of these losses.
You know, I think Saturday was another, you know, really just kind of snapshot into our season and these last 6 games of, you know, we haven't won the ball battle, right? We haven't run the turnover margin. When you don't do that, it's hard to win football games in this league. And when we gave the ball away, we gave away 14 points. You know, defensively, we held an explosive offense to 5 explosive plays, but then we were 0 for 4 in the red zone. Special teams, you know, we're a block away from breaking a 95-yard kickoff return, and then we don't put the field goals in. So I think it's a conglomerate of different things, like I've said each week, and, you know, unfortunately finding different ways to lose is very frustrating.
Now, the Cougs will celebrate Senior Day on Friday night as they welcome in the Colorado Buffaloes. And this will also be the final Pac-12 home game for the Cougs before they enter a very strange offseason. Now, while the end can't come soon enough for the Cougs, whole different story on the other side of the state as the Washington Huskies are closing in on another college football playoff spot after their 35-27 win against Utah to improve to 10-0 on the season. Heisman candidate Michael Penix Jr. continues to live up to the hype, throwing for more than 330 yards and accounting for 3 touchdowns. Now, after all they've accomplished, you'd think they're going to be favored in their remaining games this season. But no, because earlier today, the 8-2 Oregon State Beavers moved to 1-point favorites. Should be a good one down in Corvallis. You can catch that game right here on KXLY ABC4. Start time is at 4:30. Now, staying in Seattle, the Seahawks got a nice bounce-back win on Sunday afternoon to move back into first place with San Francisco in the NFC West. But maybe more importantly, the offense looks immensely better than they did a week ago out in Baltimore. Now, in the team's 29-26 win over the Commanders, Seattle put up a season-high 489 yards, with quarterback Geno Smith throwing for nearly 375 of those. Meanwhile, the running attack seemed to get going there, 120 yards on the ground. But it's not to say there weren't some struggles in this game, as there were only 4 of 14 on third down conversions, and they committed 8 penalties. Still, head coach Pete Carroll's pleased with the progress of the team.
We had enough issues with penalties early on, and then the third down conversions, that's enough to screw up any offensive production, you know. We overcame some of that stuff. We still had 4 long drives, you know, and 4 good solid drives, and we finished with the execution at the end was just clean as you could hope for. You know, the timing of the throw and the catch, the protection was there, the communication from the calls coming in, everything was right on it. And so we just got cleaner and sharper as the game went on. And
Seattle will now travel down to Los Angeles this weekend as they're going to look to avoid the sweep at the hands of the Rams. But after this, it gets a whole lot tougher. 49ers twice in 3 weeks, along with the Cowboys and Eagles. 4 News Now, we'll be right back.
Download the KXLY Plus app for live updates all day. At 4 News Now, we believe you should expect more from local news. Our team is committed to a community conversation and bringing you information you need when and where you need it. Numerica believes in and supports that mission.
I met Anidas 10 years ago. He didn't have bad credit, but he just had no credit to begin with. I took the time to really go over some options with him. Fast forward 10 years down the road, he's got his business account with Numerica. He's looking to buy his second home also with Numerica.
Spokane and North Idaho's country leader.
Drinking watermelon moonshine.
Oh, Lord, when it rains, it pours. The big 99.9 Coyote Country.
Expect even more from KXLY Plus. Live updates from the 4 News Now team. Breaking news as it happens. Weather every 10 minutes. Free on your time. Download the app, connect to your streaming TV, and connect on KXLY Plus.
Today, Grady turns 1. Already he plans to wrestle alligators, try his hand at the culinary arts, and explore the world. With Dream Ahead College Investment Plan, you can start saving for their future anywhere in the country. Don't borrow your children's future, build it at 529.wa.gov.
However you do the holidays, do it together in the Chevy that's right for you. The strong and capable Chevy Silverado, the award-winning Chevy Equinox, or the all-new Chevy Trax. This holiday season, do more together in a new Chevy. Get 1.9% financing on all 2023 Silverado 1500 pickups, or get $2,000 total cash allowance on this Silverado. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
See breaking news in your area or have a story idea? Contact 4 News Now.
Your planning forecast, a dry day tomorrow. You may wake up with the overcast, but should see some sunshine in the afternoon. And then stand by for more on Wednesday's wet weather. It's a bit of a question mark, but mostly rain if we get anything at all.
Okay, and then the weekend, another story as well.
Yeah, a little iffy this weekend, yes, but it's that time of year. It's our second wettest month.
One of our producers was encouraging everybody to find your scraper now.
Uh-huh.
Why not?
That's right.
Just know where it is.
Better
Might
to
need
be
it
prepared.
tomorrow.
All right, thanks for being with us, everybody. Have a great rest.